welcome along. So what we're doing today is we're playing Featherless Feather, and my deck's laid out all weird because, well, I have reason for it. So this is the deck tech part. Essentially, what we want to do is we want to play one or two threats, get in for damage. It's a very aggressive deck. Get in for damage, protect our threats. It's kind of a protect the queen strategy, similar to kind of the way Delver decks used to be in Modern before Delver decks sort of stopped existing. Except this is much more aggressive. Delver decks are more tempo oriented. This is more aggressively slanted. So we have 12 1-drops in the form of Favored Hoplite, Monastery Swiftspear, and Soulscar Mage. So we've seen Swiftspear and Soulscar Mage even in the last video. These are the best 1-drops in red. It pretty much full stop. Actually, I think I prefer them based on my own playstyle. I think I prefer them to like Goblin Guide. We also have Favored Hoplite, which is a 1-mana 1/2 with Heroic, and whenever you cast a spell that targets it, you put a +1/+1 counter on it and prevent all damage that will be dealt with this turn. So we're gonna be targeting our creatures with stuff. Put it that way. Then we also have 10th District Legionnaire, which Tara, who's usually here in the chat, this is one of her favorite creatures. Possibly ever, I think. But it's one red and 1 white for a 2/2 human soldier with haste, and whenever you cast a spell that targets it, you put a +1/+1 counter on it and then scry 1. So this is also very neat little creature. So these are the main aggressive creatures. We also have 4 copies of Dreadhorde Arcanist as our value creature. So we saw this in the last game or the last video as well. 2 mana for a 1/3 zombie wizard with trample. Whenever it attacks, cast target instant or sorcery will convert a mana cost less than or equal to its power from your graveyard without paying its mana cost, and if that spell will be put into your graveyard this turn, exile it instead. So this is good at getting us value. So if we were to cast a pump spell on something and then go to combat and attack, we can flash back that pump spell and get even more damage in. So this is a good value piece. And there are a couple of other things that are nice to recur with this too. Next up, we have our primary method of protecting our creature. So already, Favored Hoplite is quite resilient because if we target it with anything, damage is prevented. So that's really good against red removal or combat damage, that kind of stuff. But we also have God's Willing. So 1 white mana for an instant. Creature you control, target creature you control gains protection from the color of your choice till end of turn, and then scry 1. Because we are in red and white, we don't exactly have a whole lot of card advantage, so we need to make every little bit of incremental value that we can get count. That's why Dreadhorde Arcanist is so important, and also you'll notice that a few things have scry 1 on it as well, because there's very few ways to draw additional cards in this deck. So we need to make sure that we can sort of keep the velocity going. We also have 1 Boros Charm. This used to be in greater numbers in this deck, but has since dropped down because, well, the deck is sort of filled out with a few more creatures than it used to. But it's red, white for an instant, and you choose one. Deal 4 damage to target player or planeswalker. Permanents you control gain indestructible until end of turn, and target creature gains double strike until end of turn. Now, in this deck, depending on the situation, all 3 options are amazing. It really depends on where you are. Like, you can use this as a little bit of extra reach if you're attacking with a couple of creatures and you want to blow them out in combat. You can give them all indestructible or protect against a sweeper like that. And then also being able to give something double strike, like if you cast a pump spell on a Swiftspear followed by a Boros Charm to give it double strike, that's insane. That's a massive swing. Then we have our usual typical pump spells. We have 4 Titan Strength, 1 mana instant, +3/+1 until end of turn, and scry 1. Nice little bit of extra scry there. We got Gird for Battle, one of the only sorceries in the deck. 1 white for putting a +1/+1 counter on each of up to 2 target creatures. So this is quite nice. Because it targets, it will trigger Favored Hoplite, so it'll actually put 2 counters on it. Same with 10th District Legionnaire, and also being able to grow these permanently is quite good. Particularly putting an extra point of power on Dreadhorde Arcanist is very nice if you want to flash back your Boros Charm. Then we have Defiant Strike. This only gives +1/+0 until end of turn, but it does draw us a card. So it'll help us continue through the deck a little bit more. Getting some value off of casting a spell or then targeting something with it, and then also getting another card and then being able to flash it back with Dreadhorde Arcanist. All of these are really good options. And then finally, Takeda, who sometimes shows up in the chat here, claims that this is their least favorite card of all time, Reckless Rage. 1 red for an instant to deal 2 damage to a creature you control and 4 damage to a creature you don't control. So this is basically 1 mana, deal 4 damage to something. The reason why this is in the deck is because this is really, really good with all of our creatures, because not a single one of our creatures will die from it. But what makes it so good as well is that we can flash it back with Dreadhorde Arcanist. We can trigger some more stuff. But what's really good is that this targets. So 10th District Legionnaire and Favorite Hoplite will get counters, which is quite nice. And in the case of Favorite Hoplite, the damage will actually be prevented, which is fantastic. Now you might notice there's no feather in here. Why is this? Well, originally when the companions came out and the rules, the original rules stood for companions, this was a Lurrus of the Dream Den deck. All you had to do was just pull out Feather, add a couple of extra spells and creatures to make up for that, and then just run Lurrus and away you go. What people have realized, or seem to be on the side of at the moment, is that Feather's actually too slow. It's a great value piece. Feather's an incredibly powerful value piece, but actually too slow. Because if you start playing down Feather, say like on turn 3, if you're tapping out for Feather, you need to be doing more than that, basically, in Pioneer, as the format is at the moment. You definitely need to be doing more than that. It's not a case that it is a turn 3 or turn 4 format necessarily. It's just that things can happen. Other decks do other things at those kind of points in the curve that you really need to be doing better than just playing a flyer, you know. So this is actually still a Lurrus of the Dream Den deck. As you can see in the sideboard, it still works. And people seem to be people that are playing this deck, the pilots for Boros Feather technically, they've come to the conclusion for the most part that Lurrus is actually still really good in this, which is rare, because now since the rules change where you have to pay an extra 3 to put Lurrus into your hand, all but the best Lurrus decks have just disappeared. And this, I think, is probably one of the best Lurrus decks. Strangely, still works good this way, without using the Feather. Now, also on the sideboard, we have 3 Apostle of Purifying Light. Good luck getting this taken out by any black removal whatsoever, really. We have 3 Fry as well, to deal 5 damage to target creature or planeswalker. That's white or blue. We've got 3 Damping Sphere against the likes of Lotus Breach and stuff. And then we have 2 Soul Guide Lantern for Graveyard Hate. And for Artifact and Enchantment Hate, we have 3 Wear Tear. So, with all of that said and done, let's try out the deck. Play a couple of games and see how we do. This is a very fun deck. There were a couple of decks that I had put up today on Twitter, asking, you know, someone pick something that, someone pick one of these decks. Some of the other decks were Mono White Devotion in Pioneer, which I haven't played yet, but I'd really like to give a go. Mono Red Prowess, one of my favorite decks in Modern, and then Mono Green Infect as well. So this won out over them. This had 50% of the vote. Now whether that's showing a love for this deck or a hatred for the rest of them, I don't know yet. But we'll see. Okay, this seems real good, because we've got 3 pumps. Well, we've got 2 pumps, a removal spell, we've got a Dreadhorde Arcanist and a Swift Spirit. This feels like we'll be doing pretty good. Let's see what they have to play. I'm going to pay the 2 life, and I'm going to play a Swift Spear. I really, really, really enjoy playing a Swift Spear. There's just something really good about a hasty 1-drop, particularly a good hasty 1-drop, where you start the game with a mountain tapped and your creature tapped, and you're just like, go, deal with this. This is great for us by the looks of it. They're going to be very slow to start. So I think I want to just go to combat here. They're going to have something really good, or they might just be dead this turn. So here's to hoping. Whenever one or more tokens enter the battlefield under your control, put that many +1/+1 counters on Woodland Champion. Okay. Sure. Don't know if that does a whole lot. Land, please. Land. Oh, they might be dead. They might just be dead. So I'm gonna Titan Strength this now. I'll put that on the bottom. I'm gonna Reckless Rage this. Target this creature. Let's see how this goes. Alright, so this was 8, 9, 10. This would have gotten another 11, 12, 13, and then 14. This would have been an attack for 14. So that's pretty good. Makes you sad to see Woodland Champion get killed. It's a cool card. I don't think it's very good. I mean, like, the thing is with that kind of, like, if you're looking to do a tokens deck, you want to put all in on going wide instead of going tall. So it's kind of weird. I don't know. I don't think I sideboard like at all here. Honestly, I don't know how I'd beat tokens. If they are playing tokens, I'm like, nothing really gives trample. I can give protection, but like, oh, it doesn't matter if it's a bad card or not. If you love it, that's what's important. That is what's important. Alright, it still feels weird to reveal Aluris since the banning, but if one of these lands was a creature, I would keep it. This is a weird hand. I think I'm gonna pitch the 10th District Legionnaire. I think. Okay, Gilded Goose. Sure. Okay, so I'd like to be able to kill that, but I don't think I can. In that case, I think I'm gonna play with Soulscar Mage first because I can't attack with the Swift Spear, so I may as well leave that for next turn. I could leave it for the turn after, actually. I can get 10 District Legionnaire at next turn, attack with both of these. They'll take 2. I suppose it depends on what they play here. It's another Woodland Champion. Okay. Oh, it's like super food because now that makes 2 tokens. Oh no, that puts. Oh, it puts counter on Woodland Champion. Okay, yeah, that's. It doesn't double tokens. I'm crazy. All right, so I think I play Swift Spear. Then I think I play Gird for battle. Combat. 6. No blockers. Good. Okay. I might get concerned about this Woodland Champion if they start making tokens. But it looks like it's a mono-green food deck. I think. Maybe. Like, unless that's something that I'm just overlooking. Okay. Interesting. I'll play Battlefield Forge. I'll play out this Garlo here now. And then let's go to combat. I can't think of anything that they could have that would like wreck me here. So I'm hoping hoping. Okay. Now, what do I believe are the chances that they are going to make a food here? Quite high. So this will make this a 4-4. So I think I need to pump this. Because if they tap a goose to make a food, it'll put a counter on Woodland Champion. Put that in the bottom. Are we looking at spoilers today? We absolutely will be looking at spoilers today, yes. Maybe not quite yet, but we will at some point. Yes, for sure. Cool. So we kill the Woodland Champion. They go to 9. I don't know what that attack was supposed to do, but I don't know. That tells me they don't have another one of these, because otherwise they would have just played this and done the thing. Yeah, okay. This is what I thought it was. Feasting Troll King deck. Yeah. Alright. That's fair. They've got a 7-6. We got to find a way through it. Pump Spell should do it. Dreadhorde Arcanist is actually really good. I have no reason to play out. Well, no. You know what? I may as well play it out, because I could run into one or two different. I could run into one or two things. Like I could run into a Defiant Strike into creature or something. Then I'd want to have the extra land. I'm not blocking 7/6 Vigilance that can come back. That doesn't seem optimal. If they have another one, that'd be pretty gross. Oh, they do. Okay. Oh no. Oh no. Ooh. This was a deck in Standard for a while, and it was really cool. Okay, so this is pretty good actually. Let's put Defiant Strike on 10th District Legionnaire. I'm doing it in main phase because it's incredibly unlikely that they would have any interaction here, because they seem to be mono green. But also they've only got 1 mana open with the goose, and I could draw a creature here, so bottom, and then draw. So we're building our own opt here basically. I think we win. Hold on. God's willing on this. I think this is a win. Yeah, that's an absolute bomb card that I want there. Pro green. Yeah, keep that on top. Yeah, so what we do here is we give this pro green, and then when we attack with Dreadhorde Arcanist, we flash back God's Willing, targeting Monastery Swiftspear or Soulscar Mage, give it pro green, prowess trigger. That is 10 unblockable. That is sick. This deck is so fun. I love this deck. Mono green food in Pioneer though. I mean, like, I don't see what, like, because this is the thing. This is kind of like the adventure decks and stuff in Standard. You won't really see them in other formats, because unless the actual mechanic itself is like busted, like say Infect, where it can. But actually, Infect's a bad example. But if like you're not likely to see it in like Pioneer or Modern or whatever, because it doesn't really gain anything from other cards from other sets and stuff. The reason I said Infect is pretty bad is because all Infect needs is good pump spells, and you can get good pump spells from other formats and stuff, so, or other sets and everything. So that's why I said it was a bad example. I'm gonna have to mulligan this because no creature. We got 3 creatures here, so I think. Okay, cool. They're just gonna quit out. That's fine. Well, it's good to see that a few people are actually playing Pioneer at the moment, so so that's good. Oh my. Just gotta wait for another one now. Yeah, this deck is really, really fun. It's super cheap as well. Hang on, let me get the price of this deck. When I say super cheap, I mean like it's very cheap for what it is, being a pioneer deck. Yeah, here it is. This is the deck. This is the deck that I'm playing down to the card. It's 158 in paper. Now it is 91 ticks on Magic Online, and the reason for that is actually because of Dreadhorde Arcanist, because it sees play in Legacy. It's quite popular there. Now, granted, you can't really play the deck without Dreadhorde Arcanist. It's like the main value piece, but it's very good. It is very, very good. It's a card that's gonna see play for a long time, to be perfectly honest. So. Yeah. All right, taking its time here to load another game, but we'll see what comes up now in a minute. I hate the waiting. I hate the waiting. You can tell I'm an aggressive deck player for the most part. Just wanna get it in, get it done, smack it in. Okay, maybe what I said about Pioneer was a little soon, but as soon as I said that, we got paired. So let's take a look. Well, that's the die roll. So naturally, this is a deck that would absolutely love to be on the play all the time. This hand is this is on the low end of keep, mostly because you kind of want to, like, Reckless Rage. If we're against like a blue-eye control deck or something, this is dead. And then we just have 3 medium creatures that don't really do a whole lot. So yeah, we'll keep. It's risky because, again, if they are on something that's controlled or something like that, then you know. Spoilers are absolutely nuts today, you say. Interesting. Now, if they're running with red, I think I want to run out the Swift Spear anyway. Feel like it's getting hit. Yeah. So we're against mono red. We should be okay. We should be okay in this matchup. Should. Oh, we're not. Okay, is it? Oh, okay. Okay. They're going to be very sad when I kill that for 1 mana. Oh, it makes me feel bad because I would love to be playing something in the ice right now. Yeah, I'm gonna just Reckless Rage that right now. I know they can't really do anything with the next turn, but like they can't flip it next turn, but they can protect it potentially, like if they have Spell Pierce or Dive Down or something like this. It's not likely, but it is a thing. What's nice now as well is that despite the fact that we're tapped out, favorite hoplite is protected from shock unless they have a double shock, and if they're double shocking it, that means they're like running out of cards very quickly, which is pretty good. Love Woodland Champion, love Thing in the Ice. They both had to die. Harness Lightning. What? This card sees like no play because it's bad. Now, I mean, when I say bad, I mean like it's good if you're running like energy and stuff, but it's not that great. It's also not great that my opponent's on 19. However, kind of okay with it. Boop. Just a simple boop, that's all, opponent. Now we'll play this. I had a weird feeling that they had something like a Spell Pierce here. Yeah. If they hit the Arcanist here, this is going to be unfortunate, but... Okay, they've got an op, that's fine. I think I'm like one of the only people that actually ran like a single Spell Pierce main board for in Is a Phoenix. This was in Modern now, to be fair, but there's just something about it. Okay, so I'm going to Titan Strength pre-combat so that we can flash back with Dreadhorde Arcanist. And I'm going to Titan Strength the Swift Spear. Now, I've specifically done it this way because I have God's Willing to protect it if they have a removal spell. If the last two cards in their hand are two removal spells, I'm not really going to be that fussed about it because it means that I'm going to have probably a Dreadhorde Arcanist on board and be able to like flash back and get some good value going, so I'm not too worried really. God's Willing, please. This feels pretty good. Oh, it's enough to concede. Alright, how much would we have gotten there? This would have been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Flashing it back. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. This would have been an attack for 14 again. Sorry, Soul Scar Mage didn't have haste, but they were basically dead. Basically dead. Okay, so... I feel like it's a Phoenix deck, so this makes me want to bring in these. Honestly, I'll be honest with you, Damping Sphere, not all that good against Phoenix. It sounds like it is. You're like, oh, there's multiple spells or whatever. They'll just wait until end step or whatever, and then just use a bounce spell like a Brazen Borrow or something, like Stormwood, and then untap and then just cast like a bunch of spells and get it back. Plus, a lot of people look at Damping Sphere and go, oh, great against Phoenix and Pioneer. Thinking that Phoenix and Pioneer is anything like the Phoenix in Modern, which it's not. You were turbo in on it in Modern, but in Pioneer less so. I would consider one, but I do not want to draw multiples of this in this game. We need all of the protection spells that we can have. So we'll kind of just be pulling anything else that doesn't really sort of fit into that. Gird for Battle feels a bit questionable, but it does increase. I'm going to get rid of those, two of those, and then I'll get rid of one Defiant Strike, I think. Because I kind of want to keep critical mass of creatures. All of the other things that I have can be used at instant speed. That's why I took out 2 Gird for Battle, because it's sorcery speed. Actually, that kind of makes me think even more that I will just actually pull out 3 Gird for Battle and just submit it as is. Yeah, because they're gonna have stuff like Shock. They're gonna possibly have stuff like Lightning Axe and that kind of thing. So we need to be able to just go instant speed. Nope. In response. So. Weirdly, this deck functions pretty well against decks with a reasonable amount of removal, which is unusual for this kind of deck, because normally Tactical Green strategies are really good against decks that are kind of light on removal. But you know what? This is a weird one, but I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna keep it. Okay. Inspiring Vantage, Soul Guide Lantern, I guess. Absolute Reek of Is a Phoenix off him, so it'd be likely that this would be the kind of card that they would not want to see here. I'm also not going to play a creature out on turn 2, because I would much rather protect it. So instead, I'm actually just going to play another one. So if this is a Phoenix, this is now a good spot for me to be in, because I know, as someone that plays is a Phoenix, any opportunity they can get, you kind of don't want to be facing, like, Graveyard Hate isn't amazing against a lot of the current builds of Izzet Phoenix, and the main reason for that is because they use stuff like Crackling Drake, which counts things in exile as well. So like these are no good against it. Same with Thing in the Ice is no good against it as well. Or what's it called? Young Pyromancer and that kind of thing as well. So I'm gonna play out Tentestric Legionnaire and just see what they have to do or say. Well, it resolved. Let's bop them. Give them an old bop. Bop. If you wanted to be as efficient as possible with damage and stuff, what is with people quitting out today? If you wanted to be as efficient as possible with like damage and value and stuff, I'd play the Dreadhorde Arcanist first, because then next turn you can play the Haster and have God's Willing up at all times. But I kind of wanted to play it safe while also getting some damage in. So weird how people are quitting today. It's happening a lot. We'll see. Well, we got another opponent ready to go here anyway. Let's reveal Lurrus. Never gotten to a point where we need Lurrus yet, which is quite nice. We got two pump spells and we got 3 creatures. This feels pretty good. Vicious Rumors. Oh, okay. Gotta discard a card. Well, I think I'm gonna discard Titan Strength. That's not a bad one to start. They're not likely to have many creatures if that's the kind of spell they're running, so we'll see. We'll see. It's likely that it's just gonna get killed here, but what you gonna do? What you gonna do? It might also be correct to play out the 2 Soulscar Mages this turn. Excuse me. Bush. Yep. That's fine. They're down to 3 cards in hand already, so like I'm not too worried, to be perfectly honest. So and we're very lucky in that we have drawn a lot of creatures. Well, they don't have another Fatal Push because they probably would have fired it off there to be, you know, more efficient, but Unburden. I mean, okay, I guess. I guess I'm discarding the 2 of these. This at least draws me a card and procs them, so. They're trying to make the rack in, like, I don't know what they're doing. Let's target one of these and get some prowess triggers. Oh, that's tilting. Oh well. Let's hit them for 5. We've actually taken more damage than they have, which is no bueno, but... Right. Let's see. Burglar rat. Okay. Not particularly impactful, but I see where they're going with this. This hand would have been great. Good card off top. I said good card off the top. Oh well. Let's get in. Can't believe I'm getting racked? Really? Alright. Okay, so they have 3 cards in hand. Don't know what to think. They haven't played land in the last couple of turns, so it tells me that they have gas, basically. Davriel, right, okay. So they have the rack. Can we get racked? That is a nice one to draw. Do we just hit them in the face? I don't think so. I think I have to kill Davriel. Because this at least slows down, essentially stops their clock. So this is a neat deck though. I don't think Unburden's good enough, but like... there may be something here. Something interesting, something different. I am a big fan of 8 rack in Modern. Sometimes I'll just play it to feel better. Okay. So any spell off the top would be ideal. I'll take 2, whatever, no big deal. Okay. This is a tough one. I think I'm gonna go 1 and 1. Actually no, I'm just quicker, right? Yeah, I'm just quicker. Let's get it going. I don't think Davriel does anything here now. Like it's a shock a turn is basically all it's doing, because I'm not keeping cards in my hand, so my clock's faster. If they were to kill a Soul Scar Mage, then I would go for Davriel, I think. Depending on what I drew, I guess. If I keep drawing lands, this is a 19 land deck. I've drawn 5 out of 6 out of 15 cards. It's about right, actually. It's about right. It's not perfect, but it's close. Murderous Rider. That's rough. Yeah. Now we need something to beat that. I drew a land that turn anyway, so okay. Yeah, I'm gonna take 2. That's actually ideal. Please don't have your last card as a fatal push. Please don't have your last card as a fatal push. Or a disfigure for that matter, actually. Now that I think about it. We're going face. Should we have ignored that last Davriel? Probably. They'd be dead now, but hey. So they have to draw something pretty good here, to be honest. Yeah, we got there. Yeah, I think it was incorrect to attack the Davriel that time, but yeah, we'll learn. Well, hello, Apostle of Purifying Light. Get in there. What do I think is not particularly good? Kind of the removal, sort of, but actually it's not that bad. Because they do have little things that could get in the way. Maybe it's just Gird for Battle again. I think this is actually just the weakest card in the deck. Like, it's great in the right spot, but really don't think it's actually amazing. I also don't know if Favorite Hoplite is all that good here. But we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, let's get out one Favorite Hoplite, 2 Gird for Battle, and we'll bring in the 3 Apostles, and hopefully that'll do it. Hopefully. We'll see how this plays out. But we'll play this one. We might play another game or two, and then we'll take a look at some spoilers. Because I haven't really looked at anything yet, so... we'll have a look. Just gotta wait a moment now for them to sort themselves out here. We'll see how it goes. Alright, let's reveal Luris and go. Actually, at some point we could have played Luris. I forgot all about Luris. At some point we could have played her. Alright. Alright. We're gonna keep these. Yes, I am. I'm gonna keep these. In before they thought seize away the Apostle of Purifying Light. Sounds about right. And the one Gird for Battle. Alright, let's go. Should have played the Inspiring Vantage there actually, but sure, look. It's no big deal. No big deal. Yep, there's your Fatal Push. Alright. They have a Mutavault. We gotta be aware of that. But that's fine. Do I want to play out... well, honestly, I think I'm just playing this out so, like, before it gets thought seized or something. And just seeing what we can do with it. Because unless they have an edict effect, like, right here and now in this one turn space, they can't kill it. Or like a sweeper or something. But if they use a sweeper on this, it means that we're gonna be doing pretty well. This is an interesting one because I don't know what to do at this point. I think I want to play Swift Spear and Gird for Battle. Because I have no protection, so I may as well just try and go hard in on this, right? Let's attack with Swifty. Can't really attack with the Mutavault up yet, so gotta just sort of do what we can, I guess. Castle Lochthwain. That's fine. They can activate that and take 6 if they wish. Or not. Swift End. Yeah, that's fine. Well, what's nice for us now is... What do I do? What do I do? What do I do? I would like to get a... I think I'm going to Define Strike this now and see if I can get a land. I did not get a land. However, I did get a Swift Spear. I'm going to play the Favorite Hoplite and then swing with the Apostle. This seems more like the average function of a 19 land deck. Get to 2 and then just sort of call it quits. I could see this being a 20 land deck on account of Lurrus, but I don't think it's the worst. Rankle, that's horrific actually. We need to kill that ASAP. Yeah, they're gonna probably make us discard a card and sacrifice a creature. I would imagine are the options that they're gonna pick here, but just each player discard a card. Huh. Yeah. Okay. Don't know what the plan was there, but okay. I'm gonna pay 2 on this for sure. I'm gonna play out a Dreadhorde Arcanist and a Swift Spear. Now Rankle will at best get Favorite Hoplite. I get to swing for 5 here, put them to 6. They don't really have good attacks or blocks or anything here now, so I could drop a sweeper here. If they do, that's really rough, but at least it should kill Rankle as well. Regular Rat, sure. If that's all they're doing, I'm pretty happy. It's probably not. It's probably Murderous Rider as well. Yep. That is fine. That is fine. Let's hope the last card in our hand isn't a Fatal Push. If it's not a Fatal Push, then we're pretty good, to be honest. They can't really attack with Rankle. And if they're not attacking with Rankle, oh yeah, oh that feels good. Okay, cool. Hit this, targeting this, I guess. This is our weakest creature, so let's see how this goes. And then we'll go to combat. Let's target Reckless Rage. Let's have this, hit this, and this. Now, block enough to not die. Or also just don't have the Fatal Push. Yeah, they're dead. Nice. Nice. This deck feels good. This deck feels really good. Really, really good. Alright. Our opponent half blind apparently. The name, hopefully not an affliction, but let's show them our Lurrus. He's definitely not half blind with 4 eyes, but hey. Our 2 worst pump spells, but we've 3 creatures, and they're arguably the best creatures in the deck, so let's keep them. This is one of those spots where I'd be pretty happy to go Swift Spear into Arcanist, into Gird for Battle, Flashback, Gird for Battle. But the fact that they have blue and black is not good for us. They probably have some fatal pushes. And I'm expecting one here, to be honest, with a shock. So, or not. Cool. Just got an opt. Yeah. If they've shocked to opt, that's cool. My Swift Spear bolted them basically on turn 1, or they effectively got bolted on turn 1. I'm gonna seize. Okay. All right. I see where you're going. Honestly, I think I'm gonna play it risky here. I think I'm gonna Dreadhorde Arcanist, and then just attack with the Swift Spear. Because next turn, I got to do some dirty stuff. Particularly if we draw a land. Okay. Grixis Ominous Seas. This is new. I think I'm just gonna Gird for Battle. I think I'm gonna play it safe. And just go to combat. We're gonna cast this. Boop boop. Oh, they're looking for something here now. What you looking for? Creatures are kind of big. You're taking 8. Taking 8 on turn 3. Well, things are looking good. Things are looking pretty good. The whole idea of a deck like this is to effectively just destroy anything that sits around and takes its time. This is somewhat like Burn, I guess, in some ways. You know, you gotta make them have it. You like, if they're gonna do some big mad dumb thing, you gotta make them have it, like, right now. This is a great way of of checking people that have a deck that's like, oh yeah, this is this can turn 3 kill. This deck goes, alright, prove it or you're dead. So it's pretty good for that. Okay, so they do get the Kraken this turn. However, I fear it's too little too late, I think, at this point. But we'll see. We'll see. They did churn through the deck quite quickly there, so feel like I need to just do this. Because if they have a counter for this, at least I can still use God's Willing. They could have a sensor, right? This is the thing. They could have a sensor. And if they do, that would suck. That would suck. But I think we're not doing too badly here. Okay. Let's see where they block first. It's a bit risky, but we'll try it. We could have done this pre-combat, but I'm gonna put that on the bottom. Okay, so they don't have a sensor, because otherwise they would have just censored that, I think, but I don't know. The Yadaro? Okay. What a weird deck. Grixis Seas. Okay, okay. Oh, no good. No good. I'm sure at some point we probably could have given double strike to something instead, but that would have been not playing around sensor at all, so I don't know. I don't know what to feel about that one. Let's bring in destroying enchantments. I feel like apostles might be good. We'll try with the wear tear first. Let's pull out Gird. Gird. And I think we're just pulling out the Gird for battles. Just at sorcery speed. Not fantastic, you know, but let's try this. Alright, let's show them Luris. Luris has been ultimately unnecessary here so far. Not a bad thing. Not a bad thing. Okay, so every single card in our hand is 1 mana. So I'm gonna keep. We're on the draw. We'll find. I think we'll find a land in the first like 2 draws. In which case we're fine. If we get 2 draws here and find a land, we're gonna be in amazing spot. Not quite yet. Pay the 2 life. I think I'm gonna play out the. I think the Soulscar Mage is better overall. I think, because they're cycling sound, so that's good for us. Yeah, at least with Soulscar, you can do a Reckless Rage to permanently shrink a Kraken. Instead of just do 4 damage, so it'll turn it from an 8/8 into a 4/4. 2 damage to that, that's fine. It's fine if they want to tap out on their turn 2. Land off the top here is exactly what we need. Oh, never didn't have it. Alright. I don't know. Let's just make them have more removal, I guess. Also, if they spend their entire turn tapping out to just do something, that's pretty good for us. If they shocked that in, I would have expected a removal spell then and there, but we didn't get one. So, I think it's time to go crazy. Actually, is it time to go crazy, or is it time to just attack and play Dreadhorde Arcanist and then next turn go crazy? Because next turn go crazy, this is going to get out of hand. So if I go for battle now, that's an extra 4 damage. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's 9. It'll bring them to 11. It doesn't really do much. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna go to combat. I'm going to attack with everything here. I'm going to play out the Dreadhorde Arcanist because they do strangely seem, for a Grixis deck, much lighter on removal than I expected them to be. So I think this is worth the risk. Especially considering how fast they can draw cards. Because they could draw 1 for turn. Cathartic Reunion is draw 3. Yeah. So they didn't play a land, so their hand is likely gas. Let's target the 2 of these with this. Let's see if they have anything for this. Honestly, I'm just gonna swing. Just gonna swing. Force them to take action. There's a lot of damage coming through. I'm willing to give that Pro Blue. If they have a Spell Pierce, they have a Spell Pierce. I think that's, they don't have a Spell Pierce, they have a Concede button. So this would have been that would have been 10, 11, 12, 13. This would have been 13 damage through. Yeah. This deck rocks. This deck is great. All right, let's run it back. Run back another one. I'm live an hour and we've won like 4 best of 3s. That's like insane. It's absolutely nuts. With like these 5-minute gaps in between as well, because it seems that no one's playing right now. But sure luck, we'll see. Oh boy. So I heard there are a bunch of spoilers that have like happened just after the stream went up, so I'll check in a few minutes and we'll see what we got. So in the meantime, we're just gonna wait for gonna wait for the next game to show up. So far, a lot of the cards in this set have been pretty cool. Pretty cool. Okay, do I want to play first? Oh yeah. And I'm going to reveal Luris. What we got? This is more typical of the kind of hand I end up with. 2 red creatures, no white lands, and all white spells. Oh, so let me have a look at the mana base real quick. So if we draw another land, as long as it's not one of the other 2 mountains, we're good. No, I'm just gonna mulligan. It mulligans pretty well, so I'm not too concerned. Yeah, okay, let's go to 5. Oh no. Oh no. Okay. Okay. Let's mull. Okay, we can keep this. I'm going to be pitching the mountain and the favored hoplite. At least with this, this ensures that we can cast everything. This is a nice early threat, and then this is sort of a value package. So when you break down to a micro level of what your hand is and what your hand does, this deck is very good at figuring it out like that. So it's very clear cut. which I quite like. Game Trail. Okay. Llanowar Elves. This is probably like a Gruul beatdown deck. You need to be careful. Yeah, beat in. Time to play a Dreadhorde Arcanist. And pass turn. Dreadhorde Arcanist in this deck has overperformed. It's incredibly good. Very, very impressed. This is the kind of deck I would have a lot of fun with, I think, in paper myself. So what 3-drop they got? Oh, commune with dinosaurs. Sure. Is dinos? Or they're just digging for lands. It's one or the other. Well, it's a Rootbound Crag anyway. Okay. A land here wouldn't be the worst because it'll allow us to play out our hand. We got a mountain. This is weird. Maybe it is just getting lands off that like an Ancient Stirrings. Well, that's kind of exactly what I wanted, so that's good. Wait, undo. Red and white. Then target this to build your own opt. I'm gonna bottom this for sure. Then draw a card off Defiant Strike. Soulscar Mage, not too bad, not too bad. Attack with everyone. And then I'm gonna have this target Tent District Legionnaire again, which means that we get to get another opt. The scry from the Legionnaire's ability, and the draw from the Defiant Strike. Happy days. Yeah. So that was 3 mana draw to attack and deal 6. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Now, we do have to be aware that they're about to play a 5-drop, probably. So, what does that mean? What does that even mean? Domri. Okay. That's not really good. Like they can minus Domri to have Elf fight Swift Spirit. Yeah, that seems kind of garbo, to be honest. Spell. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Are they dead? I think they're dead. Okay, cool. Sure. Yeah, so this becomes 5/5 and it's 6/6, and then this gets it's because this will give protection and fly through and stuff. Yeah, it's basically if your opponent is just not interacting, you're going to slaughter them. Again, feels like a match where I don't have to sideboard. I just sort of run the 7 or the 60 back and just say, yeah, let's go with it. I absolutely adore the fact that every single thing in this deck is below CMC3. And what I love about this kind of deck in Pioneer is that because Chalice of the Void isn't a card in this format, it means that decks like this can exist and be fun and be cool. This is a great hand. A very good hand. Particularly against what we're playing against, because we can kill stuff. So I got Regisaur Alpha. In case you can't remember what that is a 5 mana 4/4 that gives other dinos haste. And when it ETBs, you make a 3/3 dino. So let's try and keep them off getting there, shall we? So let's start with... I think I'm going to start with a favored Hoplite. The reason for this is because I plan on attacking and doing pretty good damage next turn, hopefully. Hopefully. Hoping they play a creature here, to be honest. Like a Llanowar Elves or something would be very good. Or, you know, if they do nothing, that's also great. Well, yes, no. Are we good? All right. You know what? This feels an awful lot like Infect. An awful lot like Infect. To me, that's a good thing. I enjoy Infect, but I know a lot of people don't. I know an awful lot of people don't. This feels definitely like the fair fixed version of Infect, though. I gotta say, definitely feels more fair. All right, okay. So we're just gonna continue to slaughter everybody. Cool. What's that now? Like, we gotta be like 4050 now, right? This deck is gas. Okay, this, please. I can't say a good thing about this deck without it just like giving me a landless hand. All right, this looks really good. I'm gonna pitch a Titan Strength because out of the cards in hand, it's probably the weakest. We're looking at some sort of mono white life gain deck here, possibly. We'll see soon enough. All right, favorite hoplite and pass turn. Deck in Stone seems aggressive, like very aggressive. They're down to 3 cards in hand already. Interesting. Okay. I think Guard for Battle would be much better if it was like put 2 +1/+1 counters on up to 2 target creatures, you know, so you can spread them out or put them all on one. Whereas the way that it's worded is, say for example, here if I go to cast Guard for Battle, I put 1 +1/+1 counter on Dreadhorde Arcanist, and I don't get another one because I don't have another creature. I think it'd be better if it would. I would consider it a good card if it was able to do both options, but however, honestly, I kind of like the idea of drawing a card. Yeah, there's that card for battle again. I'm gonna pay 2 on this. I will gird. And then I'm gonna go to combat, and then I'll attack again. This does leave my only threat open, but I don't think it's too bad yet. Maybe we'll have to see. We'll have to see. We do have 20 threats in the deck, so they've dealt with 1 so far. That's kind of okay. They missed a land drop last turn, so they could be using Dawn of Hope to get another land drop here. And this is the kind of play situation. If they're drawing a card here, this is the kind of play situation that you want to be in. You need to be able to, like, this deck excels at beating up on decks to falter for like a split second. This is a lot of damage. How much damage can I do? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Not enough. So I think I still just go to combat. I guess I should have. Yeah, I should probably have cast something, but yeah, it didn't really feel right. But I could have been wrong. Could have been wrong. We'll see. This God's Willing is going to be pretty critical, I think. I think what I need to do here is I need to force the block with the Resplendent Angel. Creature off the top would be really good, but unfortunately not. Okay, so let's do this. Let's bottom that for sure. Yeah, I think a Titan Strength last turn would have been really good. Okay, let's attack for 9. Yep. Yes, that's good. That's good. Let's leave that on top. I'm attacking for 9. Would you like to do anything, opponent? Okay. That may be a big regret for them now. We'll have to see. Gisela. Got it both on them. Flying, first strike, lifelink. Lifelink is a big deal here. Okay, so we'll probably need to use God's Willing this turn. That's still probably just lethal, so it's not that big of a deal. Yeah. This doesn't matter because it doesn't have lifelink. So... yeah. Okay, let me do the maths. If I hit this with this... yeah, I just Titan Strength this. And then God's Willing it. Pro White. Pro White. Bottom. Combat. Attack. What's funny is if they attack with their Healer's Hawk, they wouldn't be dead. But they are. So... good stuff, good stuff. Alright. Okay, so we know that they're probably going to have more removal and stuff here, so that's okay. The fries are going to be pretty good. I think the Gird for Battles, again, not really feeling these, but I can see how they're used. Maybe one of the Wear Tear. Maybe. I think I'll leave it for now. Because the fact that it destroys instead of exiles means that if they have something like a Heliod or something, it's not going to really be able to take care of it. So it's only the Dawn of Hope that's there. So we'll see. This hand looks pretty great, actually. Like really great, specifically against this our opponent's deck. I'm starting to think that this deck is like an actual proper runner in Pioneer. I gotta say. Okay. So let's see what they do here. Not really feeling the idea of running out some stuff. Let's see. I don't want to... no, I know that they have Deck and Stone, so I don't really want to run out the second Swift Spear. I think I would rather... or maybe I do. Now that I've got a God's Willing, it feels alright, but I think I would rather run this out. I feel like they might have like Seal Away. That's kind of what I'm concerned about here. But I mean, gotta make them have it, right? I don't think I'm too concerned about it in general because like I've got a lot of creatures. I'm getting in a lot of damage pretty quickly, so Not too worried. We could have like O-ring effects or stuff here as well, so they're not attacking. That's good. That's real good. Mountain. I think I'm playing a Swift Spear, playing Reckless Rage, and then holding up God's Willing. That feels pretty busted. I feel like maybe there's a stasis snare coming or something, but protection's gonna fix that, so. Oh, really? Okay. Okay, yeah, they're on God's Willing, that's fine. That's fine. I'm still gonna attack. I see no reason not to. I think I'm going to hold back the 10th District Legionnaire just this once, because if the Healer's Hawk blocks it, it will kill it. So, I was not expecting the God's Willing, gotta be honest. But, it's okay. It's okay. We ended up better off in that interaction, I feel. But, yeah, we'll see. That's a problem this early. Definitely a problem this early. That's no longer a problem. Okay, cool. Yep, let's get some damage in. Protection's a broken mechanic. It's so stupid. This is all good. Let's pump this. The reason I'm pumping this is because I want to kill that Gisela as well. Hopefully not have to deal with it again. Alright, let's scry one. Do we want that? Yeah, that's pretty reasonable, I think. So they will gain 5 off this, but take 4, but their board is dead. I think I need to hit it with this God's Willing one more time. Now my hand is empty, but my board is going to remain and theirs isn't. So maybe that's enough. I really don't know if it's right to be putting that Titan Strength on top, but we'll see. We'll see. Had multiple opportunities to scry it away anyway, so we'll find out the hard way. All right. So if they have something like a settle or a sweeper, like a shatter or something, which they could, because to be honest, I don't know what they could have. Another Gisela. God. All right. Well, we can at least get it killed. So that's something. Alright, let's do it. Just make them throw it under constantly. Constantly. Alright, let's go, let's go, let's go. Boop, boop, boop. Bottom. Oh, top. Yes, that's nice. That's nice to have. So they will gain 4, lose 4. They'll go to 11. 7. How did I do that? Sorry, they take 8. You're right. I'm right. Yeah. Okay. So I'm presenting lethal. So that's something. Hushbringer ain't gonna be enough. Angel of Vitality ain't gonna be enough. This is where we can just start forcing through some damage. They're gonna start doing some chumperoos. Maybe a trade or two, but it'll be really risky. So I'm gonna make it because every time so far that I've just like immediately taken my turn and gone right click attack with all, I've had a pump spell, so I'm gonna make them think I have another one here, hopefully, by doing that, which means that they can't block the swift spears, which means that they're just gonna double chump, because they feel that they probably can't take the risk. So yeah, let's see how that goes. A one card off the top. What is it? It's got to be pretty good. Pretty much sweeper or bust at this point. We could have like a Lyra. That'd be pretty good if they're running Lyra. All right. I'm going to attack with 2. And the reason I'm going to attack with 2 is if they've instant speed on one thing, I can pump the other to win. And if they've a... Yeah, I think we win. Well, nearly. Yeah, it's actually not really the card I was hoping to see here, but we'll see. Honestly, I think I pump here. Yeah, I'll leave that on top. Seems great. Yeah, so I'll lose the 10th District Legionnaire. No big deal. Play this. Pass the turn. I can get anything out of my bin, like Reckless Rage or anything. So if they have another creature, I have the Fry on top and the Reckless Rage to take care of the Avacyn. Seems pretty alright. Yeah, I got there. This deck is so good. This deck is so good. Holy hell. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna run it back. These games are so quick as well. I'm very happy about this. Okay, I think after this game, I'll go and have a look at the spoilers. I think that's seems about right, right? Yeah, it seems about right. Rob Batman. All right, here's Luris. Again, that was another game where we just didn't need Luris. I guess it's one of those things where sometimes you'll just be happy it's there, but other times like you just won't even need it. That seems pretty good to me. That seems like, I think that's a pretty good spot for a companion to be in, where, you know, you're like, my game plan doesn't revolve around them, so when I do have them, it's kind of just cool or handy, or a nice way to get me out of trouble. Kind of how companions should feel flavor wise anyway, I think. This hand seems pretty good. Yeah, so far this has been really impressing me, like immensely impressing me, this entire deck. Very, very impressed. I originally was considering building this kind of deck for at one stage, but I wasn't sure about it because I was like, oh, it's Boros, it's white cards that I'll never normally use because I play Izzet all the time. Is it right to do? Turns out maybe it is. So we're playing against what looks like the deck that we played last time, which is a Pyromancer, or at least is it Counterburn, or is it could be the aggressively slanted Izzet Phoenix that just runs a bunch of spells, some Swift Spears, and then the Phoenix is as an incidental game plan, which is pretty good. Actually, Plains off the top is actually pretty good because that allows me to now do this without any pain, which is quite nice. Now, if this favorite hoplite survives this one turn, we're going to be in a great spot. Because naturally, blue-red are going to have a hard time dealing with something with high toughness because of the nature of the thing. Okay, so is it wizards? Or is it... No, it's is it prowess. Is it prowess? Alright, alright. Let's see how this goes. So here... I'd love to stop flooding. No more lands for the rest of the game, please. So, my options here are attack and hopefully... I think I'd just play out the Legionnaire. They're playing kind of like they don't have removal. And they're hoping to use the Swift Spear to sort of hold them back a bit. Maybe? I don't know. It seems weird. It seems weird that they didn't attack with that. Maybe it was a mistake, but I don't know. I don't know of anything in the format that can be at instant speed and 0 mana, so I'm pretty sure this is no risk attack here. Yeah, so blocking there was actually kind of clever by our opponent because now they get to set the attacks going first, which is pretty good. So it means that they're going to be able to get their damage in before us on the whole thing. So yeah, see, I was concerned about them having removal, and well, it turns out they did. So yeah, we're getting bought for 4 here. This is going to be kind of rough now. Another creature off the top would be pretty good. Reckless Rage off the top would be pretty good. They were considering not attacking there. I think that's incorrect. They do not have a faster clock with just one attacker. So I swear these lands. Alright, let's Define Strike, see if we can find a creature. Oh my god. Okay, well, you know what? Yeah, sure. Let's go. Yeah, we're in a bad spot. We're in a bad spot. We needed more gas, basically. We didn't really get that. Yeah, if they cast like 3 spells here, we're basically dead. Shoulder Mage, yeah, sure thing. Don't like that one for sure, but this makes defense really poor for us. Something good off the top. Come on, what we got? Reckless Rage, Arcanist, not the worst. Honestly, not the best either. So I think I'm just gonna hold back, keep this God's Willing up, make combat awkward for them. My concern is because they've missed a bunch of land drops. Now that tells me they drew a land for the turn, but they've 3 pieces of gas in their hand. Yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Okay, they're doing it. The all swing in. I think I'm gonna have to block here. If they have 2 spells, that's 9 damage. But if they have it to the face, that's even more. I think I'm priced into blocking, which is unfortunate. But they're now priced into pulling the trigger on something. So they are shocking the Hoplite. This is really awkward. I'm gonna God's willing. Pro red. Actually, I should have gone pro blue. Because damage is prevented already. So, geez, flooding out at 19 lands. This is unusual. Very unusual. Okay. Browse trigger. That resolves. There's no doubt that we're in a lot of trouble, but they'll have to play another spell to both take out our Dreadhorde Arcanist and save their Soulscar Mage. Which, if they don't do that, then I'm not too sad about where we are at that point, I think. We need to kill that Storm Chaser Mage, but I don't know if we can draw something in time. We'll see. Oh, land. Okay, well, I think what I need to do is I need to attack a Dreadhorde Arcanist. As risky as that is. But I need to attack a Dreadhorde Arcanist. Flashback Defiant Strike. Get another card. Hope it's like a creature or a Reckless Rage or a something. Cast this on himself. Okay, creatures, not the worst actually. Not the worst. Post combat play at Hoplite. This is likely going to be an old chumper, but hey, what can we do? What can we do? I think the Is a Prowess deck is better set up for this kind of match. I think. Because they have more direct removal. They don't rely on stuff like Reckless Rage and everything. They have like direct burn as removal, so they can definitely race with the best of them, you know. So we're more non-interactive, but I think we can have a quicker go out the gates, possibly. Shock and Face is terrifying, yes. We pretty much need like Defiant Strike into Reckless Rage or Reckless Rage off the top. We pretty much can't have anything else at this point. Come on, be good to me. If I target this twice, I think I win. No, put that on the bottom. Go to combat. Do we have this? Do we have this? Yeah. If they've a bounce spell, then we're dead, but they would have had to demonstrate exceptional patience with that. And I don't think they have it. Yes! Get there. Get there. Alright, that was sick. Okay, so I think like 2 fry for the, well, maybe not even. Maybe not even. Because the only thing it hits in those kind of decks is Storm Chaser Mage. And I think it's just I think it's just recency bias with me there, where like I just see like I see one thing and it's affected my decision making. So I think I'm actually just gonna run it back. I think I'm actually just gonna run it back. Ozzy, these wins come from out of my ass all the time when no one's looking, when no one's watching, no one's paying attention. It's like I'm believing in the heart of the cards. I'm pulling the exact card I need from my grandfather's deck. That kind of thing. Yeah, I'm getting that. Yeah, I'm getting that feeling. This deck has provided me with so many wins. It is crazy. Like I played this for a while. When Feather was in it, and I was like, "Oh, this is pretty good." This is so trimmed down and slick. Like I'm shocked at how powerful and fast this is. It is gross. Real life Yugi, yeah, pretty much, pretty much. The one thing I'm surprised not to see here at all is Fight as One, because Fight as One gives +1/+1, and indestructible to a human and a non-human. And the number of humans in here, there's 4 of these, and 4 of these, and 4 Soulscar Mage, and 4 Swift Spear. Then you can look at this Dreadhorde Arcanist, that is the non-human. So you could easily get the 2 for 1, twice, and target 2 things twice, which seems pretty good. And I think it's better than Gird for Battle. I think. But maybe not, because Gird for Battle is the only way to like permanently pump. I don't know. It's weird. It's weird and it's awkward to figure out, but yeah. I don't know. I'm very happy with this deck, one way or another. Yeah, I might want a few more non-humans. There was a different version of this that ran, what was it? I talked about it in my article recently in Hipsters. Actually, it wasn't recently. It was when Ikoria first came out. Let me bring it up here. I can't remember it for some reason, just off the top of my head, just gone. Because I had produced a list and been like, look. Oh yes, that's it. It will go in if instead of running the Lurus version, you were running the Feather version, because Feather shows up as a 4 in that, which means that you would have 8 non-humans and 12 humans, which is a pretty balanced split, which would have meant that you would have been able to hit it pretty regularly. So yeah, that would make sense. If you were to do it that way. Yeah, and that old version ran 4 Boros Charm, which seems mad. So yeah, I would probably swap those with instead of the Gird for Battle, I would use the Fight as One, I think. Seems reasonable. So we're going to be on the draw this time, so this is going to be scary close, I think. 4 Boros Charm. It gives your creatures indestructible. It deals 4 damage to the face, and it can also give a creature double strike. So basically in this deck, all 3 modes are incredibly powerful. This version has 1 Boros Charm in it. This is a list of 5-0'd like 2 days ago, I think, or 3 days ago, something like that. Yeah, I think honestly that it feels like it's the indestructible is what they're really caring about there. So I'm kind of inclined to be like, well, just run Fight as One. Like, I'm gonna mull this. This is better. Our 1 Boros Charm, will we bother keeping it? Honestly, I don't think so. It's like, if I had to cut anything, it'd probably be this. As good as all the options are on it, the fact that it's 2 mana is what's actually really rough about it. The difference between 2 and 1 mana. This is actually one thing that, like, my like, at the point in which I knew I leveled up in Magic and like got a little bit better was when I realized that the difference between 2 mana and 1 mana is way bigger than everyone thinks it is. I'm gonna keep this. I'm going to. See, my thoughts here is it's between a Dreadhorde Arcanist and a Boros Charm, and my reasoning for considering keeping the Boros Charm over the Arcanist is because we already have an Arcanist, and when you have 2 and you're low on spells, you don't really get a whole lot of value from them. So what I'd kind of have to do would be like, I mean, I guess theoretically I could drop the Soul Scar Mage, so I could go Dreadhorde Arcanist, then Titan Strength, Boros Charm, and then attack with both and flashback both. That feels super magical Christmas landy. So I think I'm actually going to pitch the Arcanist for that reason. I think it's the right thing to do. It's a tough call, but I think maybe might be the right way. Maybe. We'll see. Swift Spear at first will be rough. Soul Scar Mage. Okay, fair. Yeah, we're gonna lose our Soul Scar Mage to theirs. So I'm weirdly inclined to not play it, but it would mean playing a turn behind. I think we're better off just making them have it. Just play as Soul Scar Mage and be like, look, shock it or shock me. It's up to you. I think that is what we need to do. Okay, so kind of, yeah, I kind of want to play this. I think Soul Scar Mage is worse in this matchup. I think being able to target the hoplite with anything and just preventing damage will be better in this match. Yep, there's the Wild Slash. That's fine. I'm going to take 2 here. There's an argument that could have been made to attack with the Soul Scar first. And then Wild Slash, depending on whether it was blocked or not. Because it would be the same amount of damage, but it'll give you more options. Unless you plan on casting another spell before damage here. In which case, then that was correct. But it could also just not be. Okay, glad I bottomed the Dreadhorde Arcanist anyway. That much is for sure. I think I'm going to play it out. Wouldn't mind a land. Wouldn't mind a God's Willing either. Really want to get... like a Plains would be great. Or an Inspiring Vantage. Yeah, something like that. We need to be aware of Wizard's Lightning. It's a very, very real possibility here. They probably have 4 Wild Slash, maybe 2 Shock, 4 Wizard's Lightning, bunch of Wizards. I think one of the only non-prowess creatures in that deck, or non-wizards in that deck, is Swift Spear, possibly. A Braid. Ooh, okay, sure. I mean, they're down to 2 cards in hand, so like... they're down to 1 card in hand. So they're not, like... they're not particularly gassed up here. So I'm not super concerned, really. Like, I'm at 16, they have 1 card in hand, they have 2 creatures on board. If I can do anything to get rid of them, they're toast. Not the land I was looking for, but I'll take it. I think the best thing to do here now is that the likelihood of them having stuff to be able to deal with the creatures is reasonably low, and to be able to deal with both is basically 0, I think. So I'm going to run out both creatures, I think. That will make for a nice attack step the following turn, if we get to attack, which honestly at this point it looks like we're going to be able to. So I think we're looking kind of okay, despite the fact that we've dealt no damage yet. I think we're actually kind of okay. Yeah, it looks like they're going to start getting aggressive here, and if they do, that's fine, because if we get to crack back, if we pump Dreadhorde Arcanist to 4 power and then attack and then Boros Charm to give everything double strike, and then attack with both. We can flashback Boros Charm and give Hoplite double strike. That'd be pretty good. Leon's here in the background.
Hello.
Working away. Sadly working away.
There are multiple ways to take that sentence and they're all true.
Yeah. So I think they're trying to work out whether they should be attacking or not here, considering they have no anything really. They have no cards in hand. They've got 3 creatures, but they're all 1 power. I don't think they're in a good spot. Oh, they've just thrown down in the chat. Sorry, have to go. I'm taking that as a win. So hang on. Let's do the maths here. How much damage could we have done next turn? If we Titan Strength on the Dreadhorde Arcanist, that would have been. Hey, I wanted to look at that. Titan Strength on the Dreadhorde Arcanist would have been 4 power, then attack. Sorry, then Boros Charm to give a double strike. Attack, flashback Boros Charm, give the other thing double strike. Maybe that wasn't the right thing to do. Maybe that was a Titan Strength turn, and then the following one was a Boros Charm turn. Maybe we'll see. Well, we won't see now. They're dead. All right. So I think now we're 2 hours into the stream. That was like an unbelievably quick 7-0. Like that was insane. I'm gonna say to actually Leanne. We're playing Featherless Feather, and we basically just went 7-0 in less than 2 hours. Actually, in about an hour and a half, went about 7-0. I'm gonna have to look back in the video and make sure it was 7-0 and not 8-0. But we basically stomped all over literally everyone that came near us, which was really sick. It was really good. Okay, so now is time to look at spoilers. Bear with me while I try and get some spoilers up on screen here. See what we can do. Bear with me. Okay. So, how much more of the set is left to go? Quite a bit, actually. We've got about 100 cards left. Okay, so let's do a catch up based on where we got to last time. So, here we go. So we definitely saw Terror of the Peaks and stuff. Silver Smoke Ghoul, yeah, we saw all this. We saw as far as Dreadmaw, I believe. Hooded Blightfang is needs to be zoomed in on, to be honest. Yeah, here we go. It's a bit better. So, 3 mana for a 1/4 snake with Death Touch, and whenever a creature you control with Death Touch attacks, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. Then whenever a creature you control with Death Touch deals damage to a Planeswalker, destroy that Planeswalker. Well, first of all, that's the way Death Touch should work all the time, in my opinion, to be honest. It's Death Touch. You can't touch something and then not have it die. That doesn't make sense. So, yeah, Death Touch should just kill Planeswalkers. That's fine. So, yeah, I like this. To be honest. It's a good body against aggro. If you go to attack with a bunch of Death Touchers, which there are a bunch of Death Touchers that are pretty okay, you will be able to just do some drains. So it'd be really, really good against aggressive decks. It's really, really good against like more control heavy decks because they've got Planeswalkers and stuff. So I actually quite like this. I think there's a possibility for Death Touch Tribal somewhere. Now, this was Saturday, I believe. Palladium Mirror, we've seen this before. It's perfectly fine. It's a nice little budget card for Commander and stuff. 3 mana for a 2/2 that taps for double colorless. It's pretty fine. I mean, it's not like we needed more ramp, but sure, look, we have it now. Actually, funny story is that this actually turns into a Soul Ring when you have Ugin the Ineffable out. Just in case you didn't know that. Well, it was a Soul Ring with Summoning Sickness, but a Soul Ring nonetheless. Now we have Scavenging Ooze. So, I'm conflicted with this. First of all, please just let me play my Phoenix. Please. Just before rotation, please just let me play my Phoenix. No? No? Okay, cool. Uh, but also, uh, I'm very happy to see stuff like this be put into standard because this is just good cards. These are good cards with good main deckable hate for specific kind of strategies and stuff. This does sort of hoe Zero a little bit to some degree, but you're giving green more power. Green has enough power as it is. Just find something else. Give us Nihil Spellbomb or something. Give us something good. But yeah, it's good. It's better being in standard than not being in standard. Put it that way. I think this should actually just be in the format all the time. Similar to like Spell Pierce and Negate. That kind of thing. So yeah. Next we have Radha, Heart of Keld. 1 red green for a 3/3 legendary elf warrior. And as long as it's your turn, she's got first strike. You can look at the top card of your library at any time and you may play lands from the top of your library. So it's like a Courser of Krufix. Only 1 fewer toughness, which is probably going to be a big deal, particularly in Modern. Then you can pay 4 red and green to give Radha +X until end of turn, where X is the number of lands you control. So this would be really good in like a land style deck in Commander and stuff. I think it would be good in some Brawl decks and stuff as well. Well, it might be a good Commander herself. I don't see her going into basically anything outside of that though. It's cool, but it's ultimately more flavor, I suppose, than anything else. But hey, it's cool nonetheless. Now, Sublime Epiphany. I'll read the card first. 4 blue, instant, choose 1 or more. Counter target spell, counter target activated or triggered ability, return target non-land permanent to its owner's hand, create a token that's a copy of target creature you control, and target player draws a card. So, this is weird. It's cool that you can choose all of them if you want to, if there's ever a situation where you have them. That's really, really cool. But I mean, like, it'll see play in like Commander and that kind of thing. This is like, no one is playing this except maybe in like a wish board in Standard or Pioneer or Modern or whatever, because it's 6 mana. It's 6 mana. Like Torrential Gearhulk doesn't see play, even in Pioneer, let alone Modern. And yeah, I don't know. Now, granted, with that said, this is very, very nice to flash back with a Gearhulk. So it leads me to believe that this would be really good in stuff like Canlander or that kind of thing. But ultimately, it's 6 mana. Like, 6? Can we not have like a cool counterspell that has like 4 mana? And don't say rewind because it's cool, but it doesn't draw me a card. I want a counter target spell, draw a card. But it is really cool. It is really, really cool. It's extremely functional, multifunctional. It's got a lot of different options. I believe it's 31 options, something like that. Hey Otara, how's it going? You will be happy to know, by the way, we're currently either 7-0 or 8-0 in best of 3 Pioneer with Featherless Feather, which is really cool. It's been a weird day. Hopefully that bit of news makes you feel better, because 10th District Legionnaire has literally just been kicking everyone's ass. So that's nice. I will catch up with chat in a moment, but next up we have Kite Sail Freebooter. 1 and a black for a 1/2 human pirate with flying. And when she enters the battlefield, target opponent reveals their hand. You choose a non-creature, non-land card from it and exile that card until Freebooter leaves the battlefield. I love this card. I really love this card. It screws my game plan all the time, but when I play with it, it feels great. So it's good. It's fun. I like it. I like it, to be honest. Like it lends itself nicely to small creature decks or small aggro decks to be able to disrupt while also providing a clock, which is really, really good. And it's relevant against a lot of things. Like you can pull a Embercleave out of a mono red player's hand. You can pull a Teferi out of your control player's hand. You know, there are lots of different hits for this at the moment. So the saga you're having with your laptop, the one that didn't ship, well, it arrived today after you requested a cancellation and ordered a different one. Oh, huh. Does that just mean you're up a laptop now? Weird. Very weird. Well, No, the company hasn't refunded yet, so you refuse the package. Ah, I see. I see. That makes things much more awkward. Yes. That is, yeah. That is weird. Yeah, you're right. Definitely not ideal. No. No. So, we do have a couple other cards that we've seen from today, by the way. I'm happy, by the way, to continue talking on this, Tara. I did just want to continue and make sure that we got the spoilers in. So next one up, we got Experimental Overload. 2 blue red for a sorcery, and you create an XX blue and red weird creature token, where X is the number of instant or sorcery cards in your graveyard. Then you may return an instant or sorcery card from your graveyard to your hand, and then exile Experimental Overload. So, this is interesting because, I assume that it checks at the time of cast. So, say for example, I have say 5 cards in the graveyard, 5 instant sorceries in the graveyard, and I cast it. It becomes a 5/5, and then I return an instant from the graveyard to my hand, and then exile this. Does that make it a 4/4 then? Is it constantly checking, or does it check at the time of spell resolution and then that's it? Because if that's the case, then that's okay, I believe. Because it shouldn't. No, it shouldn't. No, because otherwise, no. It checks on resolution, I'm pretty sure, because otherwise it would say it would be an XX weird creature token with its power and toughness are equal to the number of blah 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 blah. It would be worded differently. Yeah. Okay, that's fine. It's pretty cool. It'd be interesting in limited, I guess. Assuming blue red spells is an archetype in this. I haven't really seen anything that indicates that very heavily, but it could be just not paying much attention. But it seems cool. It seems kind of Brawl-ish or Commander-like, because it's a return an instant or sorcery from your graveyard. It's like a regrowth for instant sorceries, but you also get a creature with it. So for spell heavy decks it might be good, but then what's the point of making an XX that doesn't do anything by itself? I don't know. It seems like it's cool, but then when you sit down and think about it, you're like, this could have been a good is it card though, right? Now I could be just being a bit harsh on this. But kind of how it feels. I just want more powerful Izzet cards. Sorry for you. It feels like a commander set, because I think that's where they're kind of. I think that's their plan for this year. It just lots of sets feel like commander heavy sets. Particularly with like the Commander Legends and all that kind of thing coming up, and Jumpstart and stuff probably feels commandery, that kind of thing. We also got Volcanic Geyser, which is X red for an instant, deal X damage to any target. That's fine. It's no Banefire, but it's fine. Now, this card, 9 lives, 9 cats on the one card. 1 white for an enchantment with hexproof. And if a source would deal damage to you, prevent that damage and put an incarnation counter on 9 lives. When there are 9 or more incarnation counters on 9 lives, exile it. And when 9 lives leaves the battlefield, you lose the game. So, this is like Phyrexian Unlife. Except, now... Yeah, incarnation counter is very wordy. Except now, the Solemnity Phyrexian Unlife thing is now legal in Pioneer, which could be interesting. Very interesting. Because that's generally kind of hard to interact with. You know, you got your 9 lives thing, and then you got, which is hexproof, so you can't really interact with it at all. But then you have the Solemnity, which is not getting counters and stuff, so yeah, it could be good. We'll have to see. Also, worth noting that Luminous Broodmoth is in the same color as all of these two, which means that you can have creatures, and if you have a sacrifice outlet, you can sacrifice a creature, have it come back with a flying counter on it, but Solemnity doesn't allow counters, so it'll come back without it, and then you can sack it again. and you can sack it again and sack it again. So there could be something there. There could be something there. Considering they're all in the one color, they all kind of work together in some sort of form and stuff anyway, and like all sort of converge in on the thing. You could do the Croxa comp. Yeah, you could do Croxa. Well, my main problem with that is that adds 2 extra colors. I would love, if possible, to try and keep it like 1 color or 2 maybe. 2 maybe, because then you can have like blood artist effects and stuff. So maybe it's Orzhov. But I like the thinking. Let's take a look. There's a lot that can be done with 9 lives. To be honest, a lot of cats. Look at the cat over here with the helmet. What an absolute legend. And there's Kahira. This is mad stuff. Next up, Shacklegeist. 1 in a blue for a 2/2 spirit with flying. Shacklegeist can block only creatures with flying, but you can tap 2 untapped spirits you control to tap target creature you don't control. So note that doesn't say other spirits, so it can be tap another spirit and itself, and it can be done on the turn that you play it. So yeah, that seems pretty good. Blue-white spirits is a thing in like Historic and Pioneer and stuff, so yeah, could go there. Next up, we have the return of Shrines, which we should probably have figured this out because, well, they did that with they did this with Historic. They added the old shrines, so we should probably figure this one out, right? And I can also now see why, for sure. Like, obviously it needed to go, but I can 100% see why they were very, very concerned about. They mentioned with Fires of Invention how they were afraid of cards going forward that they're designing. It's going to interact very negatively in terms of play patterns and enjoyment. And I think the Shrines is just the start of that, I think. So let's take a look at these. Sanctum of Fruitful Harvest. 2 in a green. We know it's a legendary enchantment and that it's a shrine, so we got that. At the beginning of your pre-combat main phase, add X mana to any one color where X is the number of shrines you control. Cool. Like green needed more ramp. And then we have Sanctum of Shattered Heights, which looks sweet. 2 and a red for legendary enchantment shrine. Yep. Pay 1. Discard a land card or shrine card. Oh. Sanctum of Shattered Heights deals X damage to target creature or planeswalker where X is the number of shrines you control. I like that. I like that a lot. My main concern about shrines is that, well, they're legendary. So, but this is a way of getting rid of this. So you can discard shrines that you've already got on field to just start machine gunning opponents. This is good. This is good. Alright, next. Sanctum of Stone Fangs. 2 mana for a shrine. Okay. At the beginning of your pre-combat main phase, each opponent loses X life and you gain X life where X is the number of shrines you control. Wow. That's really good. Now, it doesn't affect the board at all, so like it could actually just potentially be Garbo, but maybe not. And then we got Sanctum of Calm Waters, 3 in a blue. At the beginning of your pre-combat main phase, you may draw X cards where X is the number of shrines you control. If you do, discard a card. So the first time it's a loot. The second time it's draw 2, discard 1. The third time is the point in which it's card advantage, which is worth pointing out because it's not after the second time, despite the fact that you're up 1 there. Because when you play it, if this, say for example, if this is the only shrine, right, you play this. And then next turn, pre-combat main phase, you draw and discard. You're still down 1 from playing the shrine in the first place. Then say you play a second shrine, then you'll draw 2 cards and discard 1, which means you're up a card, but you were originally down a card from the first shrine, which means you're now card neutral. So you need to have 3. You need to have 3 cards. Sorry, you need to have 3 shrines. And trigger them 1 time in order to have this as card advantage, but yeah, like, or just have 2 shrines and have a trigger twice. So it's not hard to do at all. So yeah, this is pretty good. That's pretty good. The fact that it's a May, yeah, I like that too. I like that too. It means that, you know, you don't get wrecked under an Arset or something until rotation. So, and then the next shrine, Sanctum of Tranquil Light. 1 white mana, and you can pay 5 and a white to tap target creature, and this ability costs 1 less to activate for each shrine you control. I like it. I like it. It's not particularly impactful. However, it's a great like turn 1 play or something if you're playing like shrines. Like, I don't know, Esper's shrines, or what would you do? The 3 best ones I think are the red, the blue, and the black. Yeah, it's literally good because it's 1 mana for a shrine. I think Grixis is the better ones here, to be honest. Like, the green one is kind of trash because it is, while it is ramp, and like ramp's really powerful, we've more powerful ramp available, even with like 5 shrines out. Like, by the time you have all that set up, you don't need the mana, you know what I mean? I think Sanctum of Tranquil Light also feels a little unnecessary too. Sanctum of Stonefang is going to help keep you alive. Shattered Heights is going to be probably your win condition, or like part of your win condition, but also part of your way to kill stuff, like your removal suite. And then Sanctum of Calm Waters is going to just help you find whatever you need. So yeah, I think Grixis is probably the best line for, or the best color pairing here. Well, it's not a pairing because it's 3, but like, you know what I mean. And then we have Sanctum of All, Wooburg, for legendary enchantment Shrine. Surprise, surprise. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may search your library and or graveyard for a shrine card and put it onto the battlefield. If you search your library this way, shuffle it. And if an ability of another shrine you control triggers while you control 6 or more shrines, that ability triggers an additional time. Huh. Weird. It doesn't trigger those ones because they're activated abilities, yeah. I mean, yeah, I mean, it makes sense. Like, that would probably break this, to be honest. Would probably break this. 1 mana, double the number of shrines kind of thing. Yeah, it seems ridiculous. So I can kind of understand it. The white one less so, you just top of 2 creatures or whatever, but like, yeah. I can see why, I guess. But yeah, so shrines, I guess. Is that a thing now? They're all notably cheaper as well than the old ones, but yeah, that's cool. All right, next up we have got Ranger's Guile, a card I quite like. Green for an instant. Target creature you control gets +1/+1 and gains hexproof until end of turn. This sees play in Infect in Pauper, and is a really good piece, to be honest. Blossoming Defense should kind of always be in the format. Another one that I think should always be there. So that's pretty good. It's nothing major, but it's pretty good. The reason it's nothing major is because, well, it's kind of garbo and useless until Teferi leaves. But, you know, that's the same for all of these. You know, you play a 4 mana enchantment and go past the turn. I can't wait until next turn to get my value. And then Teferi goes, lol, what value? Bounce it. I got my value. You know what I mean? So, yeah. Next. Baron, Talarian Archmage, or Archmage. 1 blue for a 2/2 legendary human wizard. And when he enters the battlefield, return up to 1 other target creature or planeswalker to its owner's hand. And at the beginning of your end step, if a permanent was put into your hand from the battlefield this turn, draw a card. Huh. I like this a lot. Now, I will say, I really, really, really wish that this guy had flash. Really wish this guy had flash. Because I don't like... This doesn't really go into decks to gain you card advantage as such. You know what I mean? Like, you play this, right? It's a 3 mana sorcery speed bounce spell that is a 2/2. That's fine. That's great and everything. But like, what does that do? Like, that's just a slight tempo. That's basically, it's a mana war, right? It's a mana war. With slight upside. Like, you don't, for the most part, you don't want to be returning something to your hand in the kind of decks that want to play something like a slightly better mana war. You just don't. So yeah, it does feel kind of commandery, but even then, like, kind of like, it doesn't do enough, right? It doesn't feel all that great. Now I could be like hella off on this one, but if you remove the second clause on that, it's a slightly better, but slightly more restrictive in terms of cost and super type Mana War, and it's a rare. Like, so you'd have to have some real power with the second part, like real power, like use bounce lands or something to get value, or like use this in modern with like ninjutsu. But even then, you don't want to be tapping out and playing a 3-drop. Like, I don't see how this fits anywhere, to be honest. Like, it looks really cool, and I'm like, oh yeah, this is gonna be sweet. This, like, the very first thing I thought was like, this is gonna be real sweet. This is gonna be like a, you know, whatever, like a new Venser style effect or something. But then when you look at it, you're like, actually no, this is kind of garbo. Yeah, not great. Next up, though, Mistral Singer. 3 mana for a 2/2 flying with prowess. At common, which is probably the most important thing to point out here, because this might actually maybe see play in Pauper. Maybe. 3 mana is expensive for a creature, let me tell you now. 3 mana is expensive for a creature in Pauper that dies to Bolt or Disfigure or Doomblade or whatever. But the prowess is really good. Having a flying prowess creature is just very powerful. And I think it is the cheapest flying prowess creature at common. Let me check this. Scryfall. Let's do an advanced search. So it's got to be legal in Pauper. And it has to have prowess. Easy. Let's search and then go by CMC. Boop. Alright, so not flying, not flying, not flying, not flying. No flying, no flying, no flying. A 3 mana 2/1 with prowess that has flying. But the 1 toughness is gross. That just dies to electricity, so like that would never see play ever. Again, 3 mana 2/1 with flying. Still no good. I think it is, yes, the cheapest one with more than 1 toughness anyway. That's for sure. Yeah, I think it might actually be good. It might actually be good, which is crazy because when you look at it, you're like, really? 3 mana 2/2 flyer, like that's not all that good. Could be though. Could be. This is an interesting one. This might be a pick for me for one of the better commons of the set, possibly. We'll see. Ghostly Pilferer is next. 1 and a blue for a 2/1 Spirit Rogue. And whenever it becomes untapped, you may pay 2. So this is like inspired. If you do, draw a card. And whenever an opponent casts a spell from anywhere other than their hand, draw a card. Oh. And then discard a card to make it unblocked for this turn. I think I like it. Because if they go to cast adventure creatures or something, you get to draw cards, so it's like a reverse Edgewall Innkeeper. Yeah, this could be good. Anything off light up the stage causes you to draw cards as well. This is sweet. I like it. It's also cheap. Like a 2 mana 2/1, not amazing stats wise, but like it's got a lot of abilities. I would think this could be good, possibly. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's real cool. Real cool. Let's see if we got more. So we got 168 here. Do we have more? Not on this website. Alright, let's take a look at here. See if we got anything new here. No. Actually, strangely, Scryfall have... Well, they have the lands, I guess. They have slightly less, I believe, which is a bit unusual for them. But, they're the 2 sites I'm using, so that's them for now anyway. I think I could fit one more game in with with herself, Featherless Feather. I think. Let's just wait for an old game to pop up. But yeah, they seem pretty cool. They seem pretty cool. There were a lot of cool cards there that I like the look of. Yeah, definitely some cool stuff. I'm kind of let down by Baron, to be honest. It doesn't feel like it's going to be all that good at all. But then again, card evaluation can be difficult when you're not using them. You know, it can be very, very tough to work out if something's actually going to see play, because you not only have to take the current card climate and stuff into account, but you also have to realize that you have to look at it through the lens of like adding the entire rest of that set as well, and then trying to figure out, so like in order to be able to like effectively validate opinions on these kind of like card evaluations and stuff, you need to have a pretty attuned sense of what the entire set is going to do. Now, to be honest, at the moment this set doesn't feel like it's going to do an entire lot to standard, to be perfectly honest. Now again, could be wrong. Definitely not saying that I'm the best at this either. So would I like to play first? Oh, you bet your ass. Yes, let's do it. I'm going to reveal my companion, Lewis. Okay, so we have 3 creatures, 2 spells, 2 lands. This is kind of very close to being perfect. I think the best thing for me to do here is to lead on. If I lead on Hoplite, they'll know I'm on Feather. If I lead on Swift Spear, they'll know I'm on. Well, they'll think I'm on red, or like Boros Burn or aggro or whatever. I don't think that's enough to have me change what I'm going to do here. I think I want to play Hoplite first. The reason for that is because I can swing the Swift Spear in at any point, and be very quick on it. So, yeah. I'd also, I think I'd rather them kill the Hoplite than the Swift Spear, but could be off with that too, but we'll see. Let's get in with 10th District Legionnaire. And also, if they're burn, this is fine for me to have them kill all my creatures, because that's burn not directed at my face. Okay, this looks like it could be Boros Burn. I feel like a shock coming on. Oh, Lava Runner. Okay, sure. Yeah. Oh, this works. This works for me. That may have been a mistake where opponent playing the 2 of those out, but I suppose it could be a make them have it kind of job. So, so if I have 2 damage on this, I think what I want to do is I want to attack with all and then see what they do, because I don't really want to have them block with the... That's actually fine. Hit this and then this. It's always a make them have a job. Like, yeah, that's the thing. Like, if you think your opponent has a counterspell, not casting, for example, not casting the spell that you want to resolve, doesn't make that perceived counterspell go away. It just means that they've time walked you, or they've done whatever else, you know. Okay, so that's their next turn anyway, by the looks of it. So it's time to get busy. Right. This is our opportunity to punch through as much as we can. I think I'm actually pretty good with taking that. Uh, I'm also pretty good with that. Yeah, I'm gonna keep Gird for battle on top because could I have killed them this turn? I could have. I could have played a land and yeah, targeted this. Would have been another prowess. That would have been 4, and then actually I think I would have been 1 off maybe, but it's good enough. Okay, so against red, honestly, I just don't think I change anything. I just don't think I do, because I don't see what I could bring it. Like, maybe wear tear if I thought they were bringing in, like, or if I thought they had, I don't know. Have I cast Lurus yet? No. But this is the thing. This is kind of a testament to the way the deck is designed. Because the deck works really, really well. But the companion it just happens to fit the companion criteria so that it just sits there, and like sometimes if you need it in like those rare like 5% cases or something, it's there. If not, oh well, no big deal, you know. It's just like they, you know, red rarely plays it as well, but it is there usually. I'm gonna mulligan maybe. I'm on the draw. I think I should. This is a much better hand, yeah. Okay, I'm gonna keep this. I think I'm gonna put Soulscar back because actually no, I think I'm gonna put Hoplite back because I could play Soulscar on turn 1. See, that's probably not a good idea, but you know what? Yeah, screw it. Let's go like that. I know the Hoplite's like the better card out of the two in this matchup, but because of the way my mana is, it's a little bit clunky. I'd sort of rather not. So I think what I'm going to do here is I'm actually just going to pass. This feels right. Eidolon, well, we're in trouble. I honestly think one of the best things that we could do right now is just play 2 Soul Scars and hope. Hope. Like, we're at 16, but... Yep. Yeah, that's rough. Are you kidding me? Alright. Yeah, Eidolon could very well kill us here. This feels like the card we don't want to face. Risky. Yeah, this Eidolon's going to do extreme work for them. Was actually considering bringing in a wear tear for this. I think I have to take it. Okay. Probably play Soulscar. Well, that's bolting themselves to play Soulscar, so maybe not. Oh, this would be fine if it wasn't for, well, everything. Yeah. I don't see us getting out of this one, to be honest. Do not see it. It's okay though. We'll be on the play for game 3. Boros charming me? Jeez. I'm pretty much locked out of spells now. If we're lucky, we can lock them out too. I'm pretty sure that's just us gone though. Yeah, we can't do it anymore. Well, let's at least play. Put Luris into our hand. uh. Yeah, they just got it. That's fine. That is okay. Alright, sideboard. Yeah, so Eidolon the Grey Revel is like the one card we cannot deal with very well. But I'm kind of not too concerned with it, particularly on the play, because I think we could just execute our game plan pretty well. We just have to be mindful of the shocks and stuff. I think that's kind of it. Love to play first, thank you. Here is my Luris. Risky as heck, but I think I'm going to keep it. Let's get in. Land off the top is going to pretty much seal the deal, I think. Like, I feel like this could just be like the best possible start. Possibly. Possible. Ooh. Okay. Okay. I think I do this. I attack with Swifty. They shouldn't block. That's fine. I'm going to pass the turn here. They're more incentivized to kill the favorite hoplite because it's much more likely for them to lose that card. And the fact that they put the Lava Runner out first implies that they have burn spells in hand, as opposed to it's the Eidolon. That's fine. Yeah, that's okay. I'm totally fine with that. I'll take two. I'll take two. I'm fine with this. I love the arc, like the movement on this. It honestly looks like they just missed something and they're like, whoa. Fierce embarrassed at what they're after doing. But like, it's fine, don't worry about it. So this is gonna be good because this is gonna give us a lot of. Actually, do I want to do this or do I want to do Defiant Strike? I think I want to do Defiant Strike on this because this gives it another counter, and I also have a chance of drawing into another land to hit my land drops, which will be beautiful. And a white source untapped will be great here. Oh, yes, 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 yes. All of the yes. We've won this game. We've won this game. Turn 3, I'm baiting them for 10. Yeah. Yeah, we got this. You want to do some, blocking? Yeah, that's cool. I don't see how we can possibly lose this game. I'm sure there are ways, but, like, it's quite unlikely. Them playing 1-mana 1/2s doesn't seem like the way to do it. Yep, that's fine. That is fine. That's one fewer burn spell to be able to stack up to beat a hoplite or something. So, oh, that might just do it. Do we target this? I think we do. Because that means it can't die to a shock or something. I'm gonna bottom that. Come on. Oh, they just quit. Yeah, okay. That's basically been my experience with this. You get one good turn and then people concede because they're like, well, I'm about to get shredded. So, yeah, that was insane. So, okay, here's a little wrap up on the deck. Deck's busted. Deck's actually so good. It's so good. You need to have a particular playstyle in order to play it well, but that's easily something that could be learned, like 100%. It's like playing any aggro deck. You just have to worry a bit more about timing and like expecting what your opponent might do and that kind of thing, as opposed to a typical aggro deck of like just turn them sideways. But even then, like, I'm not belittling aggro decks. That there is complexity to them for sure, but this is just different. It's not harder, it's just different. It feels insane. This feels absolutely insane. Every card in here felt good. The only one that didn't was Boros Charm, and honestly, it's because we never cast it. We literally never cast it. I would be fine with the fight as one here, but Boros Charm just might be better in this build. Like I was saying earlier, if you wanted fight as one to be good, I would probably have this as the feather version, but that means that you're going down some other thing. You're going down some Gird for battles and that kind of thing, and maybe like a Dreadhorde Arcanist and a couple of other creatures. But to be perfectly honest, I don't think that's the right way to do this deck. I think this version is actually just right. It's so fast, it's so resilient, it's so powerful. We never once cast Luris, but we also never once cared. So yeah, the Apostles worked great against that weird 8-rack deck that we played against. Fry was very situational, to be honest. I didn't think it was needed. Damping Sphere, we just didn't come up against the right matchup for this, I suppose. Probably same with Fry. Soulguard Lantern was pretty good. Yeah, everything in the sideboard was actually pretty spot on. It's a very robust sideboard. Like, we've got like 5 or 6 different cards, all in multiples, and you know, I like that kind of sideboard where every card that's in there's like 3 or 4 copies, and it's just very solid, you know. What would I change about the deck? Honestly, nothing. It was amazing. It was unreal. This deck was so good. This was probably the most fun I've had playing a constructed format in like a long time. That says a lot. Let's change that to a non-pauper constructed format. This was insane. This was absolutely insane. I have a mono white heroic deck, which I literally tried to make a point of building a mono white heroic deck that cost me literally 0 to build. And it did. It cost me literally 0 to build, and it's a Pioneer deck. But yeah, I'm inclined to take that and improve on it by making it this deck, because it's so good. It's so fun. Like, if you play red, you should have a lot of these things anyway. Like, you should have your Soulscar Mages, your Swift Spears, your Arcanists, that kind of thing. And then the other cards like Titan Strength, Reckless Rage, Tentacious Legionnaire, like, you can get all these anywhere for nothing. They're super cheap. Same with Gird for Battle, Defiant Strike, God's Willing even. The real expense here, if we just look at the mana base, sorry, well, it is the mana base, but if we just look at the deck list, like I said, online it's a little pricey, but no big deal. The real cost here, honestly, Sacred Foundry. It's because of the shocks. The deck in total is $160. You could probably put this entire deck together for, if you're talking about euros, probably about 110 for the whole thing. But that's provided you have literally nothing from this deck so far. So it's hopefully the shocks will dip a little post rotation. Hopefully. Because I remember when these first came into Standard and they were printed like crazy. In the Ravnica set there, and they dropped down to like, it's about 4 or 5 quid each, thereabouts. Yeah, like 5 quid each. Yeah, exactly. And yeah, that's kind of where you want them. It's kind of where I want them, because currently, like, a playset of breeding pools $100. F that, like, throw that in the bin. Just play without them. Just play basics. Dunk on your opponent with basics. They literally come in untapped. It's fine. Sometimes it won't work out, but they, like, that's fine. Who cares? It's literally infinitely cheaper. But honestly, like, if you were running this deck and you just took the Sacred Founders out and put basics in, you'd probably, like, mostly run totally fine. But yeah. There were 32 breeding pools in the top 8, along with 32 growth spirals and 31 Fable Passage. Yes. We're not going to talk about that now. I'm oh no. Yeah, this deck seriously good. And the thing is, this is a deck that inherently should not be good, because people always say it's like what people say about life gain. It's like, oh, it's not a viable strategy. You're gonna get blown out, like, you know, all this kind of stuff. You know, like, you're gonna get blown out by, like, using Titan Strength +3/+1 Scribe 1. Like, what happens if they kill your creature? Well, do it in such a way that they can't. Is usually the way to do it, and that's what this deck does, and it's nuts. It's really good. Highly recommend this deck. Yeah, for sure. Finally, before we sign off, let's go and take a final look on Mythic Spoiler and see if we have any new cards. We don't. What cards am I excited about so far from today? I'm excited to play around with 9 lives, try and get some weird stuff going with that. Outside of that, I'm happy to see Kai'Sa Freebooter back. And yeah, the shrines seem good. My only concern is that, like, 1 shrine per color. I know the mana bases are good, but you don't really want to be doing 5 color shrines. Like, I'd say pick 3 and go with that. Just have that as, like, your package, your shrine package maybe. But I don't know. We'll have to see. But yeah, that is going to be it from me today, everybody. Thank you very much for coming along. If you have just joined us in the last little while and you want to catch up with this, you can get the VOD later on Twitch. You'll also be able to get this tomorrow on YouTube. And yes, if you go to my Twitter @Savantier, that is where you'll get all the details and stuff. On my pinned tweet, you'll see a link tree. That is access to my Patreon, my coffee, my Stream Elements donation links, my YouTube, the Twitch where you are right now, or if you're on YouTube, from there also. And you'll be able to find that down in the description, by the way. And that's it, everybody. So that was Pioneer on Monday. And I'll be back on Wednesday with probably some more either Pioneer or Modern, because until something changes, I'm not really going to be playing much Standard at all, because it's trash. Sorry for you. But that said, everybody, thank you very much. I'm going to go have some dinner. Stay safe. Take it easy. Wash your hands. And keep on jacking.